Hey guys, Rich from GunTortureTests.com. So this is a SCCY CPX-2. Well, it's part of a SCCY CPX-2. It's the one that SCCY sent me as a T&E gun several months ago. The one that I've been steadily trying to break, and it's broken. We managed to break it finally. Okay? This is a SCCY CPX-1, or half of a SCCY CPX-1 that is not broken. Okay? And see if we can spot the difference. CPX-2, CPX-1, CPX-2, CPX-1. The long and the short of it is the gun's broken. Now, how did the gun break, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Not too long ago, myself and my buddy James, we went out to the range and we were filming some other stuff, and I said, you know, people have been asking me to take a video of this guy being shot, you know, how accurate it is and all that stuff that doesn't really matter that people put so much importance on. And so I brought it with me. And that's when it broke. So we're going to cut to some video of me shooting the gun, you know, of the gun being shot and showing you that it's accurate and stuff. And we caught it on tape when it broke. For an explanation of why it broke, we'll come back to that after the shooting part. So we'll see you in a couple minutes. Hey guys, Rich from GunTortureTests.com. So here's a SCCY CPX-2, and I've also got a SCCY CPX-1 that I'm out here at Red Castle in Tulsa, north of Tulsa actually, to shoot because people have been wondering or wanting to see a video of the guns actually being fired. So that's what we're here to do. First I'm going to shoot this one, the CPX-2. Now keep in mind that this gun hasn't been cleaned in probably 4,000 rounds. I've got somewhere upwards of 5,000 rounds to this gun. I haven't cleaned it since before I did my first video on it. Okay, so it's dirty and it's still ticking, and all I've used pretty much is the Russian steel case stuff. So it's just, you know, more proof that the gun is everything I said it was and then some. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot this, eyes and ears obviously. Two magazines at a reactive target, and you guys can see what's what. I guess I should have cleaned it. So, if you look at the target, I'm a little bit high, and the reason for that is because of the front sight. Okay? You'll remember in my first video that I was talking about how the front sight popped off after I dropped it several times on the concrete. So Gorilla Glue has worked, but since it's a press fit sight, it's going to keep coming off. Okay, now we're going to go to the CPX-1, which you'll remember is the same gun with a thumb safety. Okay, exactly the same. Ready? you have it. Center mass, all within space about the size of my hand, from about 21 feet. What else could you ask for $300, guys? Seriously. I might hit some poppers with it, but that's really the whole point of the video. You guys want to see me shoot it, so here we are shooting it. You know what, James, you want to shoot it?
Yeah, why not?
Video?
Yeah.
Okay. SCCY CPX-2, James, the human troll face.
Front sight fan fell off.
Okay, we'll find it.
Yeah, it's broken.
Is it finally broke?
Yeah, I finally broke it.
Alright, so the SCCY CPX-2 is officially broken. Upwards of 6,000 rounds through it. It's probably been at least between 4,000 and 5,000 of those rounds since it's been cleaned. And I'm sure that had something to do with it, but it's busted. This is a double action only gun, remember, and double action only guns are not supposed to do that unless you have a safety engaged, okay? So I'll figure out what broke when I get back to the shop, and I'll take it apart. But Joe, I finally broke your gun, man. I guess this is a successful torture test, huh? So if you buy one of these, don't go thousands of rounds without cleaning it, okay? That's a bad thing. Something broke, and it is what it is. But for the money, you really can't beat it. You know, okay, nobody's going to put that many rounds through this. This is a carry gun, and this is the occasional practice gun, but it's certainly, you know, I don't see anybody doing what I did to it. So there we go. But if you do break it, guess what? Lifetime warranty. They'll fix it for free. Anyway, thanks for watching. Rich from GunTortureTests.com. See you next time. And we're back. And Rusty's an idiot. I just want that known to the whole internet. Rusty's an idiot. So, first off, I want to say this, okay, for the benefit of you guys, my viewers, and maybe people who found my channel by going to SCCY's website, seeing my first video on their website, and now they're here. What happened with this gun is not a reflection on SCCY. It's not a reflection on their materials, their workmanship, their design, their engineering. It's not a reflection on SCCY. I broke this gun. I intentionally, deliberately did things that you shouldn't do to a firearm to try and make it fail. And eventually, it failed. Okay? It's not SCCY's fault. This isn't a black mark on their record. This it's nothing to do with SCCY. Okay? I don't want you guys to think, oh, Rich, you know, 3 months ago you were, I love SCCYs, and oh, you say they're the best thing since sliced bread, and da 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 da. And now you say you broke one. Of course I broke one. That's what I do. GunTortureTests.com. Torture tests. I break shit. Okay? So, the long and the short of it is this. You saw it break. You just watched it happen. Okay? And it's a really weird thing that broke. And we're going to learn about that via Rich's bad drawing of SCCY internals. Okay? Copyright 2012, trademark, ... The long and the short of it is this. Here's a trigger, conveniently labeled. Here's a trigger cam, a trigger bar, and the hammer. I left some stuff out of the drawing because, well, I suck at drawing. But I left some stuff out that you're going to kind of have to fill in the blanks on. There's a couple of springs and so on and so forth. But the long and the short of it is, trigger cam goes through this little hole in the trigger and attaches to the trigger bar here, so that when you pull the trigger, it actuates the trigger bar, which in turn actuates the hammer. Kind of like this. Zoom in. Let me know when you're zoomed.
Okay.
kind of like this. Okay, you see how the hammer's doing that? Now there's some springs involved there and stuff. And if you could look down inside the gun, you could see the trigger bar being actuated and stuff. What broke, go ahead and zoom out. What broke on the SCCY is that. The top part of the trigger cam, where it hooks into the trigger bar, is what broke. I don't know how. I really don't. It's kind of a weird thing to break, admittedly. You know, I expected the gun to break at some point. And when I list everything I did to this gun, you'll understand why. So I expected it to happen, but I didn't expect that. Okay? Now don't get me wrong, I'm glad, especially since James was the one shooting it when it finally gave up the ghost. I'm glad it wasn't a catastrophic failure. I'm glad it wasn't a kaboom. I'm glad nobody got hurt. Okay? I would have felt bad if my buddy was shooting this gun and it blew up in his face. Okay? I would have felt bad if it blew up in my face, but that's kind of the risk you take when you do this kind of stuff. Okay? So, it's a weird part to break, but nonetheless, that's what happened. This SCCY CPX-2, the one that's broken, is going to be in a box and on its way to SCCY tomorrow or the next day, where they're going to autopsy it. And they're going to tell me what they think happened. But you can see that the trigger still returns. Okay, the spring still works. You know, everything's there. It's just no longer connected to the trigger bar to actuate the hammer. Okay, the hammer spring's still there. Okay, so now, what did I do to this gun? Well, I told you guys a little bit about what I did to it in my previous video. You know, throwing it off of a tall ladder onto concrete to just see if it's drop safe. I did that several times. The biggest thing I did is I just didn't maintain it. Okay? I didn't do anything that you should do with a firearm as a firearms owner. I didn't clean it. I didn't lubricate it. I shot 6,600 rounds of cheap surplus, or not even surplus, of cheap Russian ammo, steel case ammo. 6,600 rounds. How do I know how many rounds I shot? Because, you know, 6,600 divided by 50 is, well, however many boxes. And that's how many boxes I've zeroed out of my inventory in my store, okay, for this gun. I shot another couple hundred rounds of really, really super hot hand loads. I shot some 147 grain bullets. Now, standard 9mm is going to be 115 grains or so. 147 grain is a bigger bullet. It's harder on the gun. I didn't clean it ever. Didn't lubricate it ever. It never saw a bore brush. It never saw a drop of oil. You know, I abused it. Okay, and when you abuse things, eventually they break, and that's just the way it is. Again, guys, the stuff that I was doing to this gun, I was doing because I wanted it to break. I wanted to see what would happen and what it could take. The fact that I can do all that to a gun, to any gun, I could do everything I did, and nothing so stupid and kind of dramatic as throwing it out of a helicopter and running it over with my pickup truck and you know, hammering a bore obstruction into the muzzle and then firing it remotely. You know, all that super dramatic stuff. We're not worried about the time limit anymore, Rusty. I don't have a time limit now. I can talk as long as I want on YouTube. The YouTubes love me. Anyway, all the stuff that you see in some of these other videos, while entertaining, okay, and certainly educational to a degree, it's not realistic. Okay, you're not going to go buy a brand new gun and then go take it on a helicopter ride and throw it out into a cow pasture somewhere, and you're not going to intentionally throw it into cow manure, okay, and then try and shoot it, and you're certainly not going to intentionally hammer a bolt into the muzzle, okay, and then fire remotely or some other sort of barrel obstruction. You're not going to do those sorts of things. You're going to do stuff like what I just did, which is forget to clean the gun, okay? Forget to oil it. Take it out shooting some weekend and you know, put it back up, and it's just a range toy. It's not a carry piece, so you don't see it every day. So it's just something that, you know, slips your mind, and then before you know it, you know, a year has gone by and you haven't done any kind of maintenance to the gun, okay? That's the stuff that you're going to do as a normal human being. The fact that this gun could do everything, you know, could take everything I did to it, and something really silly like a trigger cam break and not have some seriously, you know, catastrophic failure of the weapon, that speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned. It's not a black mark against SCCY, it's actually a check mark in their favor. Hey, look what the big fat dude with the beard did to the gun, and he had to do all this crap to get it to break, and even when it did break, it wasn't a big deal. It's an $8 part. Okay, it's nothing that is going to affect the long-term longevity of the gun. So, all that said, I'm still a big fan of SCCY. I'm still a big fan of the CPX series of guns. It's a good product. I'm not a paid spokesman. I've gotten a lot of messages about that. Okay, I'm not a paid spokesman. I'm not paid a penny to do these videos. Okay. They're not paying me to say these cool and awesome things about them. I'm just giving you my honest to God opinion on the stuff. And when it's a bad opinion, you'll know it. You've seen some of my other videos that aren't so nice, and you see my videos that are pretty good. So the long and the short of it is, don't let this dissuade you from looking at SCCY as a viable option. Okay? I'm not telling you to go out and buy one, but don't let the fact that I broke mine make you think it's a bad gun, because it's really not. A lot of guns would not have put up with that. I swear to God, some of my Glocks would not have put up with that. Okay? And I know for a fact my 1911s won't. Okay? And I'm a 1911 fanboy. Okay? And I know for a fact that a 1911, at least one of my 1911s, won't stand for that kind of treatment. I promise you. The 1911 will quit a lot sooner. At least one of mine will. So, all that said, welcome to 2012. Welcome to the new and improved GunTortureTests.com YouTube page, and we'll see you next week.